Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are going to be starting with the first semester Zoology Honours syllabus. First we'll start with the animal kingdom classification. Now in the animal kingdom classification we are going to be talking about each of the phylums, each of the classes and their examples of the ones that is there in the syllabus only, and about their life characteristics, life history, etc. So first of all we are going to be seeing how the classification was done. Now before we go into the classification as such, we'll just do a little of a portion called a subject called systematics. Now there we have to study the animal kingdom classification or any kind of classification, how it is done in details. But this portion does not include that topic. But we have to understand the classification. To understand that we need to know what is kingdom, what are phylums, all these things. So we'll just talk about it in brief. Basically, classification means when we are dividing some groups of organisms or things, whatever, living or non-living, on the basis of certain characteristics. Let's take a group of individuals. So in the group of individuals there can be males and females together. Now if I think about classifying this group, I may classify it on the basis of their gender. So there will be two groups of people, one are female and one will be male. So basically whenever we talk about classification, we classify it on the basis of certain characteristics. Now how is it classified? What are the ways, what are the terminologies given to it? So when something is classified, they are first can be classified as domain. Now in the domains there can be each of the domain, actually there can be kingdoms. Okay, in each of the kingdoms there will be phylums. Each of the phylums will have classes. Each of the classes will be further divided into order. The order will be further divided into family. Family will be divided into genus, and genus can be divided into species. So this is the overall classification. So first we'll be seeing what are the different kingdoms and what are the phylums underneath that. Domains and classes, we'll see it later when we'll be talking about systematics, but as of now here not required. So all the kingdoms will be made up of some groups of phylums. For example, let's take the kingdom Animalia. Animalia itself is a big kingdom. So the kingdom Animalia is going to be having lots of phylums underneath that. Okay, so there are lots of phylums. So we'll see those phylums over here. Okay, now the phylums can further be divided into classes. For example, we are under kingdom Animalia. Our phylum will be phylum Chordata, and the class to which human beings belong is known as class Mammalia. After that there are order, family, genus and species too. So first let's try to understand the animal kingdom classification. Now the animal kingdom is divided into two subkingdom. One is the subkingdom Protozoa, which is actually under another kingdom, Protista, but they have included it over here because Protozoa is a little different from Protophyta, which is actually a plant Protista. So under kingdom Protista we have two separate subkingdoms, Protozoa and Protophyta. So those This protozoa has animal-like characteristics. Hence, we are going to be studying it under zoology in this chapter itself. So, we have two subkingdoms under kingdom Animalia, that is subkingdom Protozoa and subkingdom Metazoa. The difference of classification, why have we classified this? The character that we have taken uncommon in between them and divided them into these two parts is known as the number of cells. So, if you think about a protozoa, it is normally unicellular. Until unless they are in a group or bunch in some way, they are unicellular organisms. Whereas metazoa, they are mainly multicellular. There are other differences also which we will be talking about in details later. But yeah, this is the basic difference. That is on the basis of number of cells, we divide the animal kingdom into two groups, subkingdom Protozoa and subkingdom Metazoa. Next, the subkingdoms are further divided into some infrakingdom. Infrakingdom Mesozoa, infrakingdom Parazoa and Eumetazoa. This division is on the basis of cellular organization. So, the first one, Mesozoa, they are going to be having a different kind of cellular organization compared to Porifera, Parazoa or Porifera, and they will be having different kind of organization in Eumetazoa. Basically, Parazoa does not have any as such organisms which are in which the cells are properly arranged into tissues, whereas Eumetazoa, the cells are much more properly arranged into tissues. So, this is the basis of classification for these three groups. About them, we will be studying it in separate video about their characteristics and their differences. This is just to make you understand the cellular organization. We know all the living organisms are made up of cells, and these cells together form tissues. Tissues together form organs, and then the organs together form organ systems. So, on this basis, the organisms which may have cells, a bunch of cells, or may have got arranged into tissues or organs or organ systems, on that we call it the cellular organization level. Okay, and that's the way these organisms are going to be divided. Now we'll see the phylums. So, under this infrakingdom phylum Mesozoa is there. So, this has only one phylum, phylum Mesozoa. Kingdom Parazoa or infrakingdom Parazoa has a phylum, phylum Porifera. And infrakingdom Eumetazoa has two divisions, Radiata and Bilateria. Now, when these divisions are coming into the picture, what are these divisions on? These divisions are on another topic called the symmetry. So, this is on the symmetry. This is the third point. This is the second point. This is our first point. So, first we divided it on the number of cells, then on the cellular organization, and then we divided it on the symmetry. Let's see the next point. In this next point, we see the organisms are divided, but they are divided on the basis of something called the germ cells. First of all, they are divided from here to here. So, they are divided on the basis of the germ layers. So, what are the germ layers? On the basis of that, are they diploblastic or are they triploblastic? On that basis, they are going to be divided over here. After that, we see another division over here, and we are going to be calling it, so there is a subdivision. These are all subdivisions. So, in this subdivision, we are going to be seeing there is Acylometa, Pseudocylometa and Eucylometa. What is this coelom? Coelom means body cavity. So here again we divide it on the basis of the body cavity or coelom. Next, again the coelomatas are going to be further divided into some other divisions which are called the protostomes and deuterostomes. This is on the basis of how they are developing. So on the basis of their development. Okay. Embryonic development. They are divided into further these groups. So we can see the symmetrical differences over here. Are they radially symmetrical or bilateral symmetrical? We also saw they can be divided into on the basis of germ layers. Are they diploblastic or triploblastic? Then body cavity. So here are the body cavity divisions. Each of them will be having their own examples of phylums. Then we saw the eocoelomates, which is again a division of body cavity, and they are divided on the basis of embryonic development, and these are the phylums underneath that. We have to talk about each of this basis of division. Okay, this is the sixth one. I'm sorry. This is the sixth one. So each of these divisions, they are non-exhaustive. They are more over here. Like for example, each of these phylums are divided. Why these phylums are divided different from each other? They have some dissimilarities between them. For example, some may have organ systems well developed, some may not have. In some the organ systems are developed, but some of the organ systems are not as similar to the others. There can be differences in their circulatory system. There can be differences in their nervous system. So those differences we are going to be seeing as we proceed. These are the basic differences on which this classification has been made. So when we will be talking about the characteristics of this classification, we are going to be considering only this as of now. But as we go on, carry on, we will see the general characteristics of the phylums, and then we can easily differentiate between each of these phylums with each other. So that's all. Thank you.